The Sixers trailed by 6 points with 28 seconds left in regulation. We've never seen anything like this. We've seen wild and craziness, but never anything like this in the history of the NBA postseason, as Maxey has the abracadabra comeback for the ages. So let us discuss the question: did Tyrese Maxey single-handedly win this game for the Philadelphia basketball team, or did the New York basketball team blow chunks all over the court? So I've got medicine cabinet, caterpillar, and apple fritters. And we will combine all of these things together, and we're going to make some balloons and some cake and some celebratory alcohol, which all would have been consumed had the Knickerbockers not done what they did. But and they still might win. I mean, they should win, right? We'll get to that in a minute. But to answer the question, did Tyrese Maxey win the game for the Sixers, or did the Knickerbockers blow the game? And I think you know where I'm going with this. We're looking right at that Knicks logo there. That's what we're looking at. Wowzers. Now, listen, does that mean that Tyrese Maxey was not living the high life there? It was Miller time, Reggie Miller-like. If you're really old, you remember there was this basketball player who's now just a terrible broadcaster, but he used to be a good player, Reggie Miller, before he sucked as a broadcaster. And Reggie had 8 points in 9 seconds for Indiana in a wacky ending against the Knickerbockers. But that's a generation and a half ago, that game. This game that was played just a few hours ago as we're doing this show, a few hours ago, this game was lost. It was not won. It's just a fact. That's a reality. Maxey, the only way Tyrese Maxey completes the unimaginable, the unbelievable, the hocus pocus, the presto comeback is with a little help from his enemies, or supposed enemies here. He can't complete the mission without an assist from the New York basketball team. And for the Knickerbockers, they collectively, in the final minute, raided the medicine cabinet, and they all overdosed on stupid pills. All of them. The entire roster and the coaching staff. And he said, well, that's one guy. Jalen Brunson could have still saved the day in overtime. He did not play well in overtime. But how about idiot number one, Mitchell Robinson, who unforgivably did the thing you can't do at the time you can't do it. He fouled Maxey on a 3-ball from just outside on the street, outside Madison Square Garden. And so in many ways, Mitch Robinson working as a guardian angel for Tyrese Maxey on that play. So that set it up. So that all of a sudden goes from 6 to 4, a 4-point play. So it's down to 2. Maxey made the foul shot. So it's down to 2. And it's a nail-biter at that point. And then we've got moron number 2, Josh Hart, who was fouled with 15 seconds to go. You make both foul shots, and unless you foul again, there's no mathematical way that the Sixers can come back and tie the game. But he only made 1 of 2. Who goofed? I've got to know. And so that left the door open. Then dumbass number 3 would be Tom Thibodeau and the entire New York Knicks coaching staff and roster, everyone, anyone that was in the huddle, everyone on the court. The Knickerbockers decided, you know what? Let's just let them play. You know, they coulda, woulda, shoulda fouled. There's like, no, we're not going to foul. No, we're going to foul. Because knowing the Knicks, they would have fouled, and the game would have ended in regulation the way how stupid they are. Somebody would have made a shot, and then they would have fouled them. It would have been a 4-point play to end the game. But wildness goes to overtime, and then the Sixers obviously win. But the Knicks still have a 3-2 advantage, which I'm told is good. You only have to win 1 more game. You have at least 2 more opportunities. Maybe only you need 1, but you have 2 more chances to win 1 game. They head back to Philly for Game 6. That is up next. So how much confidence do you have in New York bouncing back? So we will turn to the Maller scale of confidence, 1 to 10, with 10 being Michael Jordan with the ball in a clutch situation, game on the line. You know he's going to make the right play. So I'm at a 6.5 on the Maller scale of confidence, which is just slightly above average for the Knicks. Now, the Knicks should win the game, right? It should be lesson learned. You screwed up. And both teams coughed up a fur ball. Remember, the Sixers had a big lead, relatively speaking, with about 20-something seconds to go in that game earlier in the series. So both teams have goofed up. But Jalen Brunson, you got to think he's going to go full throttle. He'll make the plays at the end of the game. And watching Joel Embiid, offensively, he's got a bunch of rebounds and all that, and maybe you say, well, the numbers weren't that bad, but Joel Embiid, he does not appear to have a higher gear, at least on offense right now. And the other factor here, the other variable, is Tyrese Maxey. I mean, this guy, he's on the launching pad right now, and the stardom awaits, right? You legends, we always say, legends are made in the playoffs, and if he can close this out and stick the dagger and win 2 more games and be the reason the Sixers win those 2 games, then you have a metamorphosis where you go from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And everyone's saying how pretty you are. No one says how pretty a caterpillar is. Who cares about caterpillars? But butterflies, man, they're the OnlyFans model of the bug community, the butterfly. Everyone's impressed with it. All right, now the last word. We pivot to the Cream City. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because am I surprised by the outcome? Yes, I'm surprised by the outcome. With both the Greek Freak and Dame time out, Milwaukee steamrolled the Indiana basketball team. What an embarrassment for Rick Carlisle, Tyrese Halliburton, and the Indiana Pacers. What an embarrassment. Without the top 2 players. Do you know that's never happened in the history of the NBA playoffs, that a team's been without their top 2 players and won a playoff game that dominant? It's insane. Pacers now, they still lead that series 3-2. Back to the Hoosier State for Game 6. Doc Rivers, who will soon be back broadcasting, Doc Rivers saying that Giannis and Dame are, quote, very, very close, was the quote. So has the tide turned for the deer? Do we now fear the deer again? They absolutely took the lunch money of the Pacers in a game where Indiana wins. They advance in the playoffs. So I am a skeptic on the Bucks. Now, it's not that I believe in Indiana. I don't, but I do know a team like the Pacers, home cooking does seem to matter more than for some other teams because of the situation here. But it's kind of like donuts. I look at the series like donuts. You got Giannis and Dame time. Now, if you enjoy the donut, are they freshly made apple fritters? Like just out of the oven, hot, ready to go? Or are they jelly donuts that have been sitting around for 11 hours and are kind of disgusting? And, they're all behind the case. You don't know till you get them. You don't really know till you get them. So, yeah, Giannis is supposed to come back. I'll believe it when I see it. And Dame Lillard's going to come back. But how good are they going to be? Plus, even if they're good, you still have the Doc Rivers gag factor. You've got that. Milwaukee, based on top-to-bottom roster, should win that series. Right? They also shouldn't be down 3-2 going into a Game 6, but I will believe it when I see it on the court. And Doc is always one step away from malpractice on the basketball court.